Remember this? Oh man, Roman Reigns and John Cena. That hot mess of an event. So, oh boy, the feud that really should have been more and should have been saved for one of the big four was moved to No Mercy, a B level, probably C level pay per view. And the only reason the match is somewhat recognized by some fans is because I'm pretty sure the rest of the show was garbage at the time. Like, this was the point where Enzo was champ. Oh boy, and they lost Neville. Big mistake. You sided with Enzo because he made money on merch, but screwed over Neville because you said he didn't contribute. Oh man. So yeah, remember this debacle where they did this big contract signing and like yeah, when Cena was a free agent man because he's John Cena, bitch. Because that was a thing that was seriously annoying because oh well I'm John Cena. I can do whatever I want, but I'm still the good guy here. And then he recently got heat over what happened with China and Taiwan. So yeah, let's not go into that other than that he's pissed. But yeah, Roman Reigns and John Cena, the match that really probably should have been much more safe for a later date. But now it looks like we're gonna get a rematch. Now there's no confirmation of this. We just have Sportskeeda, if I pronounced that right, along with Matt Men podcast member Andrew Zarian. I think that's his last name, if I pronounced it right. He made a cryptic tweet saying, "You can't see what you can't believe," which is hinting that you can't see me versus believe that. And yeah, and there was a report that John Cena is currently in negotiations with WWE about potential comeback on the July 16th episode of SmackDown, which would be the first show on their return to touring in the post-COVID world. And yeah, many people speculate this might not be a one-off appearance, but yeah, but now it could be more because the tribal chief's gonna want to assert his authority on the guy who owned him on the microphone, even though Roman beat him in the ring clean. But that wasn't really much of a victory at that time because they were still trying to say, "Love Roman, you gotta love Roman." So could a Roman Reigns Cena feud now work? Well, there's some issues with that because last time so first off, Cena is kind of in that controversy with what happened with China and Taiwan, and apparently WWE management's pissed at him or the locker room. Yeah, Cena had to put over China. Oh dear. The great John Cena, with his creative control card, could not overcome the power of the Communist Party of China. So, take of that what you will. And now he has to return probably to take on the head of the table, the tribal chief. So there are several factors that could lead to this horrendously going not well. Mostly, it's his Hollywood commitment. There is another factor, but let's be real, that's going to be an annoyance for me, not really much of a creative issue for them. Because Hollywood will say, okay, you got lucky last time. He didn't do actual wrestling, but you can't have him wrestle. We don't want him hurt. If he was still doing crappy movies, that's one thing. But he's in Fast and Furious. He's going to be potentially another major actor again. And he's not The Rock because, The Rock's is currently Black Adam. But yeah, Hollywood has their insurance policy, and ever since the Rock incident that happened, courtesy of Cena accidentally, I must stress, not his fault, directly, like he did, like he intended to hurt the Rock. Let's not do that. That stopped the whole Hollywood can get involved. Like it took forever for them to get Batista to come back, And that was only because he went on break from Hollywood after he had filmed Guardians of the Galaxy. So, yeah. And yeah, and let's go with Mike's skills. So Roman back then, he was basically scripted to the extreme. Like, he forgot his lines. Could the Roman Reigns now decimate John Cena on the mic? Probably more so now that he's unleashed his potential as the head of the table, as the tribal chief. And plus, he has Paul Heyman on his side, so he can address that. I'm pretty sure they're going to address the whole part-time, whatnot, full-time stuff. And I'm pretty sure if they do this feud, it's going to, deal with how he's become Brock Lesnar, except Lesnar is lazy and doesn't like to wrestle unless he's getting paid millions of dollars for like a couple appearances. Or he's Goldberg, where he'll use his charity card as a way to excuse himself from doing terrible booking decisions. And yeah, so I get a feeling they'll probably mention that somehow. There's just one major story issue I have with this. Remember the last time we saw Cena? He was sent to another dimension to be forever tormented by Bray Wyatt and his rapid gang of puppets. Remember that? We don't see that. Cena hasn't technically appeared in the WWE continuity, how broken it is since then. But there's, and here's the thing: if they bring Cena back, they have to address how he got out. They can't just ignore this. Considering everything Bray Wyatt's going through, we don't need more of this whole let's screw Bray Wyatt to benefit ourselves in this and whatnot, because it's not like we have all the goddamn money possible and we're at a point where we could do whatever we want. But moving on from that part, yeah, Bray Wyatt trapped John Cena's dimension, and if WWE did not directly say it, which they did, everyone who comes in contact with the Fiend changes. WWE said that. Fan theory was one thing. WWE went on TV, had Braun Strowman say, everyone who fights the Fiend changes. It happened with Seth. They retconned it and said Finn Balor was changed by the Fiend, Seth was changed by the Fiend, Daniel Bryan was changed by the Fiend, The Miz was changed by the Fiend, Braun Strowman was changed by the Fiend, Alexa Bliss was changed by the Fiend, but since Cena disappeared, we don't know if he's been changed. So, but they have to say he changed because, like, I joke saying that, oh, Bray Wyatt sent John Cena to the DC universe and he thinks he's Peacekeeper. So, an ultra patriot American who will kill as many people as possible, non-discriminately, if it means to enforce peace. Cheers, peace with all my heart. So I'm gonna go ahead and do unethical things to do it. And whatnot. Oh, God. Like, everyone says that, sees that line, and we're thinking, oh, that's America in their eyes. We're refunding your money now. But, oh, God, it's so problematic with this debacle because, like I said, this is more like an issue I have, and being a fan of Bray Wyatt, I want his work to be respected by the WWE management, despite the fact that he's better than them at parts and has so much characterization and gives details in his character. It actually, gives two shits and doesn't want to just wait until Hollywood comes calling, then they can run off back there to LA or something, or Vince just doesn't give two shits. So, yeah, we would have to address this, unless you're going to go the route where Bray Wyatt is back in time and have Roman beat the holy hell out of the Fiend, and that caused a chain reaction that destroyed the balance of the Wyattverse. Technically, the last time we saw Bray Wyatt, we saw John Cena, it was during the promotion for all these big WrestleMania announcements in one video. I, however, like to joke around and say that was secretly the Fiend's worldview and whatnot, because they never said it on TV, they never addressed it on TV, they instead said, oh, Triple H and Stephanie are going crazy and whatnot. also could say lockdown finally got to them and they lost their minds more so. But I just like to joke in my mind that when we saw Triple H and John Cena in this video package with Roman, it was secretly the Fiend making his twisted worldview where he imagines this, and Cena and Triple H are his prisoners and just doing stupid or deranged stuff in there, like Alice in Wonderland levels insanity, or they finally lost their minds in lockdown and took too much drugs, and holy shit, they're tripping balls. But yeah, a lot of people, and here's the thing: you can't have Cena turn heel if you do this route, because if Cena turns heel after Roman turned heel, then you have a heel versus heel match, and WWE doesn't like to do heel versus heels unless they could turn them into a tween. And everyone doesn't want to see Roman changed, and no one wants to see everyone wants to see John Cena change, which will mean Cena will be cheered, Roman will be booed, which, okay, in theory that could work because Roman is still a heel, and that means he's getting heat. But Cena, however, is the guy that either people love or really hate, and people would still love him and would love him if he went heel, and then we'll have this issue, and then we're stuck, and then we're trying to process how we fix this. So I want them to address the Fiend stuff. I want them to bring up the Fiend. Like, you can even use Alexa Bliss in this. Like, Alexa Bliss released him or something, since she's currently acting like the new Fiend, thus stealing Bray Wyatt's creation. Way to go, Vince. I mean, come on, like I said, this is why I've been trying to piece together. Like, if Cena ever came back, I have said this repeatedly, if Cena ever came back after he had fought the Fiend and was destroyed by him, and after his breakdown where he just went to town on Huskus the Pig and remembered all the great failures of his career, and the amount of people who deconstructed that match, and I've seen some that deconstructed it to the extreme, they would have to turn him heel after that. They have to do the heel run. Just do one heel turn. But but if you're fighting Roman, then you have to be a face to make this work. But if he's a heel, then he'll be cheered still. Oh, but that be because everyone wanted him to be heel for so many years, especially after what happened with the Nexus and what happened with The Rock. It's just a very difficult place to put this. Like, if you bring him back and you don't address what happened, then you're pissing off all the Wyatt fans and those who actually want logic to be applied in WWE. But if you go the route of Cena as a heel, then Cena gets cheered. Roman will be booed, not because he's a good heel, but because, well, we love Cena now. So Roman was yesterday's news. And you know how Vince will probably look for any excuse to turn Roman back to a face prematurely before they could actually do it when the time was right. So, yeah. Like, they could try the in-between route, the anti-hero route. Like, you could have Cena wear darker outfits and whatnot and be more aggressive, which could work, but I don't think WWE is willing to try that hard because that would require effort on their part, regardless if Cena helps or not. So anyways, yeah, that's the big rumor going around today. John Cena versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. All right, let's see if that happens. We'll see on July 16th when the touring resumes and we go wild on this. So this was Neo Reality Entertainment, the WrestleVerse, presenting John Cena versus Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Check out my other content in the description below. Stay tuned for more, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace and take care. See y'all next time.